Hello and welcome to the Gaggle, where we challenge and, if necessary, destroy media narratives. I'm Peter Lavelle. Okay, George, on our plate today is over the last two news cycles, we had Kamala Harris accidentally say during a Harris administration with Joe Biden. Okay, I'm paraphrasing here. And of course, Joe still thinks he's running for vice president.
Yes.
I mean, okay, it's a gaffe, but I mean see, all of us have learned to speak Biden now. Okay, we more or less understand Biden. Okay, even if he doesn't really know what he's saying. But it is very curious, and I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with you, but it's looking more and more likely when we look at the people that are surrounding Joe since South Carolina. These are Obama people. This is the Obama clan, okay? And I strongly believe, and this is just my supposition, it was Obama that picked Kamala Harris as well, okay? And it seems to me that they're positioning her to be the chief executive, okay? And I'm willing to give her a break. I misspeak all of the time. I make mistakes like everyone else, and we'll just let that stand as a one-off. But it does kind of give you the sense that she knows what the game plan is if Joe ends up at Pennsylvania Avenue, okay? I wonder if she will have housing quarters there as well, because I think the vice president's at the Naval Observatory or something like that. That's where the vice president resides. But I mean, let's speculate about this, because I think this is not far-fetched. As a matter of fact, I think it is perfectly reasonable to assume that Biden's handlers and the Obama machine are angling on some form of major influence of Harris in this administration, if it were to come to pass.
Well, I think so. And this idea that this is a gaffe, I have never come across any vice presidential nominee who has ever suggested, Dan Quayle in a Quayle administration, or Al Gore, in a Gore administration. It just doesn't happen. No one would dare to make a gaffe like that, because that is a serious business. I mean, you remember when Secretary of State Al Haig said, I'm in charge here.
I'm in charge.
That brought his career to an end. That ended it. The moment he said that, I'm in charge here. When you start jumping a few rungs on this ladder in a very hierarchical system, you're in trouble. But here, she suffered no consequences because, as you say, Biden kind of pretty much echoed the same thing the next day, or maybe it was the same day. And I agree. What's really happening here is Harris is being groomed as the next president. Harris is Obama's creature. He invented her. But as it turned out, when she ran, it was supposedly a done deal. She would just sweep away all her rivals, and it would be the second coming of Obama. She ticked all the boxes. She's a woman of color, a woman, obviously, and she has this link to Obama. But she turned out to be an absolutely disastrous candidate. Everyone hated her, and she antagonized everybody, and she dropped out in a cowardly fashion before the first vote was even cast. And so now she was sort of revived again by Obama, who I think probably said to Biden, "You owe me because I saved your candidacy when you were down and out, and Bernie Sanders looked like he was going to walk away with it. I saved you. Now you better get with the program and nominate her." So I think, this is clearly Obama staking out his hold on this coming Democratic administration, and Harris is the Obama creature there.
It's really interesting. I mean, let's think back in the presidents in our lifetime. Can you think of one former president that was so overly concerned and obsessed with their legacy? Can you think of one?
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, it's always been the case that presidents just simply fade away. They go on to do other things. They write books and so on. Like Eisenhower became chancellor of Columbia University. Reagan enjoyed, wealth. Gerald Ford played golf. Jimmy Carter did his various do-gooder things. I can't think of any president who has been so actively involved in politics and trying to control and essentially run the next administration. I mean, I think it's unprecedented.
I think it's really interesting because I think partly we can attribute to his extraordinary narcissism. I think that's part of it. And I have to wonder about the rivalry between what I think is coalesced into an Obama clan versus the Clinton clan, because one used to do retail and one used to do wholesale politics, and I think they're flip-flopped right now. Okay. And I think that, when you look at these Obama people that are surrounding Biden, I don't see their strong affection for Hillary Clinton because she's had her run. Okay, she's had her run, and I think everyone is glad about it as well. I don't know about you, but when the last time we were saying it's the Russians are doing it then, they're doing it now, and there was this video on Bill Clinton, for the first time in my life, I felt bad for Bill Clinton. It's like, you got to listen to this all the time.
That was hilarious because he was just sort of looking there, really wondering whether this woman is just, off her rocker. I mean, he was just, he looked bemused like this because she looked wild. I mean, she didn't have her usual kind of nice hair and everything. Just crazy. And you get the impression that she's really fading out and that any kind of the Biden team isn't going to listen to her. She's not going to have any kind of input in the Biden administration. And I think Obama has elbowed her aside. I mean, I think Obama may well have thought in 2016 that he would continue to influence Hillary Clinton administration. He was, of course, naive because Hillary Clinton wasn't going to have anything to do with Obama. If she became president, Obama can go sling his hook. But now I think she's really out of it. So, I do think that Obama is now really anxious to control and ensure that this is in the next administration will be the Obama administration. Kamala Harris, there's nothing to her. I mean, she's a complete zero. I mean, she was invented by Obama, and she will just simply, do Obama's bidding.
It's very interesting to me is that it has been claimed by a number of people that Obama's DOJ personnel-wise in the early days of the Trump administration were fiddling with the 25th Amendment as a way to remove the president. I think if there is a Harris-Biden-Harris, take your pick, administration, there's going to be serious talk about the 25th Amendment. Yes. Very serious talk.
Yeah, no, that's going to come into play almost immediately. You look at Biden, and he always just seems to be 30 seconds away from a complete meltdown. And the way all his handlers are constantly guarding him from any, moment. He might start talking to somebody. He might, answer a reporter's question that he hadn't been expecting. Anything. So they're keeping him very firmly under control. Once he's in, once he gets them over the line, because he's the only Democrat who could basically pull this election off. Because he's still lovable old Joe, and that's why he got the nomination. Because he's a safe pair of hands, popular, has a following among the blue collar Democrats, and he'll get them over the line. And I think then Harris has no chance of doing that. So I do think that once he's in, once they've gone over the line, then his usefulness will be at an end.
Yeah, and she's going to owe the entire Obama clan everything. I just have to wonder if there were the Obama and his handlers are thinking about how they're going to staff his cabinet, for example. I don't want to be cruel. I mean, politics is a blood sport. I know it, and sometimes I can go over the top with humor that's quite biting, but I mean, Joe Biden is a very frail person right now. I mean, I don't know what happened to him the last 4 years. I mean, he really seems to really,
I think
um,
he has had health problems. I think he's
yeah,
had
yeah.
health problems. And I think this is the consequence of the health problems that he's had. So, the aneurysm and all this. I mean, I think it's taken its toll. So, yes, he's about the same age as Trump, but clearly, his health, is decisive here.
Well, I mean, and I looked at part of his town hall that he did with George Stephanopoulos. You know, most presidents, even after 4 years, really age. Trump doesn't seem to
Yep.
change very much.
That's true. That is very true. Presidents really do age. You can see it in 4 years. They look a lot older. But it doesn't happen with him.
It's really interesting also is that the bunker strategy, they're applying it to Kamala Harris now. I think she's just waiting to be told what to say. That's why she doesn't really want to answer questions, because when she was a candidate, you couldn't shut her up, okay? And now she's very demure and tries to actually, I'm like the last 4 or 5 times that I've seen her interacting with the press, she's always walking away. It's always a walk away. You notice that? It's just like no engagement.
I think that they've obviously saw that again, that supposed charm that she has actually works against her. People don't find her charming. They don't find her likable. They don't find her giggle endearing. They don't find her Valley Girl talk particularly soothing, and they know this. So therefore, again, just say your thing, go.
And that's the interesting thing, because I think a lot of voters, they saw that in Trump. Everybody knew he wasn't a choir boy. Okay, fine. Okay, and he's a pretty crude guy. But I have to admit, George, during the primaries in 2016, Trump was just hilarious. I mean, politics was fun again. Okay, and everyone's waiting with bated breath. What is he going to say right now? But see, the interesting thing is that Joe Biden, he has this authenticity to him. Even now, it's really weird. I mean, I think he's a crook. I think he's very corrupt, okay? But his presentation does put you at ease in many ways. I mean, he doesn't seem like he's good. He's not a violent guy, I mean, even though he tells these stories about popcorn, that guy, or in the parking lot or something like that. But I mean, the thing is that, and I've heard a number of other commentators, particularly on the left, who do not like Joe Biden, is saying that he puts you at ease, and I think there's some truth to that.
I think that's right. When you compare him to Obama, I never liked Obama. I always thought he was a very cold, calculated, manipulative person. And in many ways, a sort of a rather creepy person. I mean, everything we've learned, for instance, about Russiagate and what he was doing to the Trump campaign is of a piece. We know this about. This is the way Obama operates, and he's kind of a sinister person. And you really do get the sense with that with him. But Biden doesn't have that. Biden seems a kind of a nice guy, as the classic thing of, you see someone you want to have a beer with. And you say, yeah, he might be good company. Well, probably not now, but I think, 10 years ago, he might have seemed like good company.
He's kind of like, people you've known through your life that, they're goofy, they're not the brightest person, but, they're easy to get along with, have a beer with, and you have the very low expectations. It's a very disarming. I have friends like that, okay, and they're really nice people, okay, but it's not. These are not the same people I go to have a very serious conversation about. It's just about general things in life, okay. All right, last 50 seconds. Finish up, George.
Yeah, no, I think that Biden, if should he win this election, I think Biden will be for the birds within a year. It'll probably start off with his, temporarily taking a kind of a time off, and therefore, he'll be spending only half of his time in the Oval Office, the other half, whatever, playing golf or recuperating, and then gradually, I think he's just going to be pushed out.
And he'll just go back to the basement where he started.
Exactly, and he doesn't seem to object.
He doesn't seem fine. There's plenty of Jell-O with pineapple chunks ahead for him. Okay. Thanks, George. Here. Thank you for joining us here at the Gaggle. Much more to come. And if you like this, like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you soon.